Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Citation 10 flight. Today we're going from none other than Arkhangельsk in the north of Russia, all the way across to Vorkuta, also in the north of Russia. Afterwards we'll continue onwards on our next scheduled stream towards down to the south and towards Chelyabinsk, Yekaterinburg. Today, usual average weather, I'd say, pretty sunny, pretty warm. 2 hours estimated flight time. We are here on the ramp. We've already got a little bit started on the preparation. We've got the lights, navigation lights, we've got the batteries on, etc. So we're going to head and hop in. You can see I've got a few systems started up. We are pretty much loaded up now. We're just waiting for me and the co-pilot to start the engines and things. We've got 10 people on board. I'm going to go for the instructor operating station with you. So we've got full passengers. We've got 8 passengers on board. 2 pilots. We've got 4,351 kg of fuel, which is quite a lot. That's enough for obviously the 2-hour trip we're expecting today. Plus, I'm taking contingency fuel of about 40 minutes, and we're taking alternate. We're taking enough fuel for about an hour and a half extra, just in case there's any issues up this weather. Because of this sort of area, there's usually rough weather. In terms of baggage, 236 kg. And that's it in terms of the weight and balance, pretty much sorted. We're just ready to start now, so Q and H, we can get this put in. 1019. Let's get the controls sorted. Emergency lights, standby power. Let's get the APU on. I've done a few preliminary checks, as I said, so there's no, at this point there's no need to start from the very beginning. Not quite cold and dark. I'll switch to the co-pilot side so you can see the APU. Okay, so ready to load the generator. I'm going to turn the bleed arm on. We want to turn it max, it's not very warm. I turn the cabin to about 19 degrees. 18 degrees for the passengers, but 19 for the pilots. Just helps keep that little bit of a difference in temperature, can help with the airflow. Keep the isolation valve open for now. So today we're not going very high, we're only going up to 27,000 feet, so 270. So I'll program, there's 25 and then obviously 26, 27. Get the door closed. Hop back into the captain's seat. So the door is closed. And get one of these flights started. So to do what I'm doing today, I will be using VATSIM. You need to file, as I do, I file a flight plan on SimBrief, download it, install into the FMS on X-Plane, then file the flight plan into VATSIM. It's a little bit more effort and time, but it kind of makes it worth it. And as suspected, there's no ATC in the area, which is normal, I think, for the more quieter areas. We've got one person on ATC, but not near us. Can't see anything in the area, especially. Yeah, so let's go ahead and initialize the position. ULAA, Uniform Lima Alpha Alpha is... So the airport isn't actually called Arkhangельsk, as I thought it would be called. It's called Talagi. Completely different. And destination, we won't do it yet, we'll just load a flight plan in. You can see there's only one there. I've deleted all the others I didn't need. Makes it a little bit easier to find. So the departure's not actually been programmed in there, but I've got it in my notes. That's the UNAR 3 Juliet departure, runway 08, and we're actually coincidentally landing on 08 when we get to Vorkuta as well, with the Adib 1 Bravo arrival. So you can see most of it's programmed in well. It's a very long flight. There's the DB approach, 27,000 feet, so it's actually already come up with the altitude I had on SimBrief. Fantastic. So departure, I want to confirm the departure that we want all the way to the end. So 3 Juliet Sometimes it does. If you do download the flight plan, of course, be aware it might not put it in all the time, which can be, you know, leave you a little bit confused why it's not in there. So make sure you always double check that. And of course, the arrival as well. Navigation, arrival. So we got the correct arrival in there, just the departure wasn't in it. So go back to flight plan, we perform the initialization, and we'll get everything programmed. So climb 270. Let's just put 250 for now. That's realistic for when we get a bit higher up. Select FMS on there, nice and early. Make sure we set the QNH as well. I keep forgetting 1019. Both sides. And back to the programming. So cruise 300. We could change that, but that's a realistic speed, I think, especially at 27,000 feet. Descent 270. Again, that's probably absolutely fine for our purposes. And so just check in on YouTube Studio just to make sure that the stream is not lagging. It seems to be possibly lagging a little bit, so I can't do much about that. It's terrible, to be honest. I don't know why it is it. I'll move the mouse around a bit so you can see. Trying to keep an eye on the YouTube screen at the same time. Anyway, going back to this, so descent, step increments, so you can change that to like 1,000 or 2,000 feet per minute or whatever you want to do it. You can't really change the fuel reserve or anything else on the transition altitude, of course. We can check that on the ATC. So we are on that sim and there's no ATC available, which means we've got to make do with finding it out a different way, unfortunately. So usually it would have something here about the transition altitude, you would hope. I would assume it's 10,000 feet. And we're cruising like level 270. So as you can see, it's come up there, the cruise winds. Fuel, so it's in pounds, but it's correct. Okay, takeoff. We are dry runway conditions today. Everything's looking pretty good weather-wise. We've got 9 degrees, 10 degrees outside, so not too warm. There's the V speed. So today we're actually really heavy. Obviously, full passengers, full like tons of cargo, tons of fuel. The V speeds are fairly low, and the V2 is actually quite high. So as I say, everything's working out fine. So we've passed that. It's passed all the tests. Pretty much ready to go, so let's get on. Beacon lights ready on for the engine start. Select 27,000 feet. Altitude select. Okay, let's get rid of that a little bit. Trying to keep it realistic, but sometimes it does get in the way. Let's get the fuel on. Fuel boost and ignition. Fasten your seatbelt signs. Once that light goes out, you can just switch the ignition back to normal. There's no need to keep it on. You see the hydraulics pressurizing at the same time as the engine starts, so that's good. Steady 60 frames, about, jumping up to 70 now and again. I've seen many people stream these with no issues in terms of the connection. There's no lag on their stream, so I don't know what's going on. It says occasionally might come up poor encoding performance. I don't really know what that means. It's not a computer issue. And using a wired interconnect connection, just bear with me, I'm just checking why this isn't being a smooth stream. It does tell me that there's an unstable network. So yeah, I've been blaming the internet the whole time, and that's, you know, it's being confirmed now on the streaming software that it is the internet that is the problem. I'm just going to do a quick speed test. I have a wide connection, so if you are watching this on catch up and you know how to perhaps improve this situation, then let me know. Yeah, so just doing a speed test, it does seem like the upload speed is not what it should be. I'm not sure why. I still have some, still meant to have a higher upload speed, you see, but it's not reaching it. So yeah, poor internet service provider. Don't recommend them. Okay, back to the plane. If I can try and watch this potato quality. Taxi lights on. Ignition normal. I'll stick it back onto boost on when we get a bit close to the runway. Transponder to on. Random code for the IFR. Go 2545, that'll be fine. We are on Unicom right now. Probably don't need to change it off just yet. We could turn the isolation valves off as well. Close the isolation valves. So pressurization doesn't need to take place until we're in the air. Okay. Is the APU disengaged? Turned off. And you get going. We're pretty much sorted now. The plane's really yeah, just very surprised by those takeoff speeds. I thought it would have been much higher. 5 degrees of flaps, and we'll stick the trim into the green zone. There we go. According to the FMC, so 500 feet, quite a slow ascent. Alto 1, 500, and then 7,000 by ULAA. So let's just keep that in mind. Initial altitude 7,000 feet. Okay, ready to go. Parking brake off, taxi lights on, beacons and navs on. Straight out taxi. Now we're taking off runway 08, so we're going to taxi all the way to the end here. Maybe I'll be able to take a right turn onto the runway. Very cool airport. It has a parking spot, as you can see down there, for a plane. Right at the end of the taxiway, some kind of disused civilian aircraft. By the look of it. Okay, current time GMT is 20 past 5, so 2 hours flight time. We should be getting there GMT time 7 o'clock. That would be 8 o'clock roughly Central Eastern time, and 9 o'clock Eastern European time. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different on takeoff. I'm not going to use takeoff thrust. I'm not going to, well, I am going to set takeoff thrust, but I'm not going to use the toggle button. There's not really a toggle button on here. There's just a go around button, and you have to use manually anyway, so it's kind of redundant to use it. Can we use shorter amount of runway? No, not really. We've got relatively normal sized runway here. We'll have to go the full length, so we have the full length of runway for takeoff. Flaps have been set. We'll just do a few preliminary checks. I'm the only aircraft in the area, so we don't have to worry about strobes being an issue. So strobes on. Taxi lights remain on for the time being. So fuel pumps. Ignition continuous. Everything else is looking pretty good. Ready for like departure. Believe it or not, we're only going barely 15 knots and it looks like we're flying. Thank goodness we got good weather today. I mean, look at that, it looks fantastic. Absolutely brilliant place to fly from. It'd be really, really interesting to see what it's like in winter as well, because the ground, obviously, snow everywhere, ice, more challenging conditions, no doubt about it. So we're going to go ahead and just line up on the runway. Landing lights on. I think we're good for a straight out departure. If you are watching this on YouTube, if you are watching this, just be aware there's a delay in the voice and the video. Just one quick check on this takeoff. Looks pretty clear in the area. Give them a quick call anyway. What's it called? Tulagi or something. Archangels traffic, Charlie 22 Foxtrot Tango, taking off runway 08. Okay, we're ready to go. Just courtesy call out on Unicom. Takeoff thrust is set. Airspeed's live. 80 knots. V1. Rotate. Positive rate of climb. Gear up. Just about made it off the ground. The plane is very, very heavy. I have to keep that in mind. It's very, very windy. Look at that. The plane is being thrown all over the place. Very, very windy on takeoff. I'm surprised we didn't get a wind shear warning. Maintain. Rapid speed drop as well there. We've got to be super careful. Keep the flaps down for now. I didn't check the wind. The wind's looking pretty solid actually. It's not too bad. Okay, flaps up. See how the plane handles it. Now we're allowed up to 250 and slats up. Okay, ignition off to normal. Boost pumps normal. Landing lights can stay on until above 10,000. Turbine sync on. Transponder to altitude. Just transmit our altitude to the ATC if there is any. Not any on board just yet, but bear in mind we are meant to be on that sim or at least connected to it. No weather warning, it's looking clear. It's actually looking very nice, so we'll probably land in Vorkuta very quickly if we got tailwind. Let's double check the tailwind status. Remember, we're going to change directions towards the south, or towards the... We are going in the right direction, but setting a headwind now. I may slow it down actually. And autopilot on. Landing lights off. Engine anti-ice on. Stabilizers and slides anti-ice as well. Check the pressurization of the aircraft. Seems to be pressurizing pretty well. Let's go ahead and turn that up. So you can see we turn it, we increase the pressure inside. It's increasing now, cabin's increasing now, we got to 14,000 feet. Make sure you do that by the way, otherwise the aircraft might not pressurize correctly. You see it'll rise on here. We could change that to minimum or maximum rate if we wanted to. It's doing it very, very slowly, so still increasing. Cabin altitude is currently about 2,000 feet, going up to 3,000. Probably level off at 8,000 feet. Now I've picked a lower altitude to cruise at, so we can go a little bit faster. So we might be able to go above 300 knots. Usually the aircraft becomes unsteady after 300, especially at high. Any altitude, to be honest. It doesn't matter what altitude it is, it's always too fast for it. Cabin master switch on. Make sure passengers have got access to TVs and USB ports, chargers for the phones, etc. So yeah, pretty much cruising nearly. So everybody sit back, relax. I'm going to turn the passenger seatbelt signs off. Привет, це Sam. Добро пожаловать на мой канал YouTube. I'm going to step away from the cockpit, enjoy the flight views while I'm away. I'll be about 2 minutes. Anything goes wrong, you have permission to take control of the aircraft. Good to see everybody in the stream today, very early indeed. I'm back. We are cruising through now 260 for 270 flight level cruise. Stream health is back to excellent, so I'm hoping there's no lag anymore, and stream issues just keeps popping up, and I got an unstable network and loads of other issues. But yeah, good to see you all here on a Sunday. I hope you had a fantastic week. 1,000 feet to go, that was. Reduce that thrust to cruise setting momentarily. There we go. Let the speed build up a little bit. Incredible. I think I picked the perfect altitude to keep the plane at. 300 knots seems reasonable. And you can see we got plenty of waypoints to attend to first before we get there. We don't even have to descend till we get to a DB, which is the approach for the D1 Bravo arrival into Vorkuta. Runway 08 is our landing direction, so same direction we took off in. So it means we'll probably be landing straight in when we get there. A long flight plan, but about 2 hours in total. Apologies for the radio silence. What a shot. So to screenshot it, I'm going to use it hopefully as the thumbnail for this flight. So we've not got TVs on our lights, I don't know why. You'd hope it would be automatic. Let's have a quick look round, we're free to walk around the cabin. I think we've had a look around this before. Just in case you're unaware, it's an 8-seat configuration for passengers. I haven't seen any seats in it for the flight crew or the attendants. Obviously the pilots are in the cockpit. In terms of like somebody on board to serve drinks, I've never seen it. Well, I don't know where it would be stored, but looking around, it's looking pretty nice. Nice cream leather interior. Seats with buttons, you know, lights, USB ports for the phones. This is very, very modern. Toilet in the back, or as we call it, a vanity closet. Incredible views, absolutely one of the best planes on the game. I'm going to look into getting another citation, I think. Maybe there's another citation that would compete with this, although so far, you know, this is by far the best, one of the best planes I've ever flown on a simulator. I mean, look at that view there, look at that amazing wing. Incredible. So yeah, it'd be hard to beat this in terms of quality. Even a paid wear version would be difficult to beat it because, you know, it's pretty much fully interactive. Minus one or two things. Look at that, there's a pocket in the cloud. You see that? A little hole in it. Almost in the shape of a square, so I don't know if that's a graphics glitch or something else. Very cool. Ah, you can see over there, there's some storm weather. Well, what looks like the beginning of storm weather, these sort of formations. Possibly. But so far we're actually doing well, we're cruising above the clouds. No need to go any higher. Now, one thing I did forget, standard pressure, of course. Very important. So see, it's saying we're a little bit too low down. If we set it to standards, it's just going to climb up. Hopefully lose a little bit of that excess speed at the same time. I don't know why, I just hopped, suddenly hopped back in to realise the flight plan's not being followed. I know I've got half bank selected, but the turns weren't particularly challenging for the airplane to follow. How peculiar. Well, we're still heading in the right direction, we just somehow skipped loads of waypoints. As you can see, we've gone straight ahead when the turn to the left wasn't that steep to begin with. So it looks like Agodi is the next one. We'll just go straight to it. There we go. Let's hopefully it follows it this time. I was a bit suspicious what was happening because the FMS here wasn't lined up correctly. So yeah, just be aware of that. I don't know why half bank would stop you from following your flight plan. The turns themselves are not particularly challenging for the aircraft. You know, you can do it within 15 degrees bank, no issues whatsoever. Just be aware of it. You don't need standby power on it this time. Nonetheless, my mistake. That may cost us time, I don't know what it'll cost us so far, nothing hopefully. We got enough fuel on board, we got contingency fuel. I've keep looking on the map, there's no one here, so you can see for some reason I think we were meant to go up this route. Or down here and then up, but for some reason it's not done it. It would make sense to just go that direction, so we're kind of turning back now to join up with the route. Still in the right direction, you know, still heading the right way, so it won't take long to get there. Not at this speed anyway. Current time in Vorkuta, 8 minutes past 8 in the evening. Estimated time of arrival was for about 7 GMT time. We've been flying for 1 hour 11 minutes, or on the stream for 1 hour 11 minutes. Probably been in the air about 50 minutes, I think, 55 minutes. So about halfway through. So that means we'll arrive at 9 PM Vorkuta time, which is UTC plus 3 hours. Town in Komi Republic, or Komi Republic, Russia. Coal-mining town in the Komi Republic, Russia, situated just north of the Arctic Circle, Pechora Coal Basin, and the river Vorkuta. Almost like the swamplands. Of course, this river, just looking at the river that flows through, very, very famous, well-known river in Russia, of course. So TVs have come alive, probably since it's going slightly dark. A little bit of a pixelated light shadow there. Not a shadow, but the light coming through the windows. Interesting to note, actually, they're not lined up, as you would expect. The light coming in, that is, I'm not talking about the windows themselves, they're of course lined up. Cockpit's going lightly dark. I don't know if we'll see sunset by the time we arrive. I'm hoping we don't. I'm hoping to say full light, full daytime flight. Still quite a way till we're at this next waypoint though, and that's kind of like a good milestone then to gauge how far we're on from the actual Vorkuta. Can't see much on the iOS. So I was looking up here for just another alternate airport, ULAA. It's not our alternate is I don't actually know what the alternate is. It's somewhere down south, so I think it's like an hour away from where I currently am. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. We'll probably descend. I'm not going to follow the FMC's plan to descend. I'll descend when I need to. So we are actually pretty close, we're only half an hour away from Vorkuta, which is pretty good. So we got here earlier than expected, or as I expected. So we can start our descent, I think, even though the FMC hasn't given us it yet. It would be wise to get down now to get down nice and low and just keep our aircraft at the same speed. We've actually covered 385 nautical miles already, so we've covered, like, you know, over half the trip. Ground speed 444 knots, altitude 27,000 feet, heading 37 or 037, squawking 2545, Unicorn 1228. So yeah, the Citation 10 has done very well. A DB1 Bravo arrival for runway 08. I'm just going for the finale. So yeah, looking at the map, we literally just went a little bit south and then we had to go slightly north, but we didn't lose any ground. We just had to go, like, the actual route that was planned had us going like straight across, but actually that doesn't make sense. Anyway, so the airport is actually off to the left, right of us. Checking the NOTAMs. Runway 8, yeah. Fantastic. There's nobody there. There's nobody at Vorkuta, and there's no one at Archangel, so it looks like we're cool to just go down and descend. So let's get started. Let's try and do this semi-realistically. I'm going to make our cruise, let's check what the final height is. So, as you can see, we're very, very close. Have we got the arrival programmed in? So arrival. Didn't give me an ILS Zulu or Yankee, so I'm not sure which one it is. Let's try that and activate. Maybe that's gonna work. So yeah, straight in. We're not. So they say the top of the descent is past Tisby. I feel like we could go down now. 2727. We'll be down to about 12,000 in preparation for the landing. But then that's coming up as 2,200. Right, let's go down to 12,000 feet. Hope if I turned it the right way. So 12,000 feet initially. Seatbelt signs are on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Captain speaking. We have in fact begun our descent, so please remain seated for the remainder of the flight. We should be arriving within the next half an hour. Thank you very much. Well, we've had our peak viewership at the beginning, sort of peaking along the way, so thank you for watching the stream so far. Keep an eye out for the airport. You can actually get, I've said it before, you can get the ILS frequency from SimBrief. Unfortunately I didn't bother to have a look before I loaded in. Either that or you can go to the VATSIM radar. You may be able to find it that way. Local QNH 1009. So they're saying we're going to have a tailwind if we land on runway 8. We could go around and do a runway 26. Just means there's going to be a 10 knots. I don't know, it's not too bad. Runway 8 will be fine, I think. We just have to go in a little bit slower than expected. So 1009 QNH. And we want the landing speed, so performance data. So it's not giving us anything on there just yet. It's giving us the runway, but on the length is absolutely fine. 125 VREF, so 130 is landing speed. Looking at how much fuel we got left, we've actually got quite a lot. Fuel left considering we started with something like 4,500 kg almost. Incredible. Oh, it's Lisby. Sorry, I thought it was Tisby. Tickman and Lisby. A DB. Ooh, Yankee Whiskey 002. That's final downhill, the runway CF08. So it looks like final height is about 2,200 feet. Terrible. Clouding, as you can see, all the grey stuff, that is literally all cloud. So what we're experiencing now is just simply turbulence. We may experience rain, we may experience a bit of rough weather, but that's it. There's no thunderstorm weather, there's nothing like that. There's no warm or cold fronts as far as I can tell on the map. And then of course there's a blue thing there. I'm assuming that's not the sea though. So there's that rain I was talking about. Just standard cloud rain, nothing to put us off from landing. It's descending very well now through 14,000 feet. Top of descent is near us pretty much. Changes 7,000 feet. And slow down to 250. I think this symbol here means there's animals, some kind of wildlife, maybe a moose or something. Deer, possibly reindeer. I don't know what kind of animals it is, but I'm assuming that's what it is. And then up here we got pictures of birds, so I'm assuming there's birds there as well. I very rarely see animals on this game. I didn't even realise that X-Plane 12 had them, but apparently it does. We'll have to fly in Africa, in the African wildlands, to try and find some on one of the streams. some more of that wildlife I was talking about, and more birds as well. Doesn't give you an altitude for them. It would be nice to see them though. We've just got to keep an eye on that because we might fly through them. Get the slats down. Nice strong tailwind. You'd think we'd be going a bit faster, we keep dropping speed. Bear that in mind when we're on final. Sometimes that can affect the handling. Or the handleability on short final at least. Pilot's doing a good job. Autopilot's doing a good job. So it looks like we got a good landing incoming. We said about half an hour before for descent and things. It's been about 20 minutes, I think. Not bad. Not bad on time. Feel free to give this a thumbs up to show your support, and of course I would say usual stream is Monday, but it probably will be Tuesday now. We'll be back in the citation. I'm hoping to do a 737 flight again, so maybe I'll do that on Wednesday or Thursday. We've covered 520 nautical miles. Quite far. The only other aircraft within the actual northern region, like us, we've literally got one other plane within 100 nautical miles, or even 500 nautical miles of us. A HDJT. I don't really know what that plane that is. Going very, very fast. Looks like he's going up to ULAA, which is where we've just been past. Still on Unicorn. We'll give them a call when we get a bit closer to landing. As you can see, the runway for the airport is now visible. I'm hoping it's going to be visible on the iOS. Not yet. It's quite a pain. It would be cool if we could see it. It's not really showing much on the map though. And that'll give us the ILS, so I'm just waiting for the ILS frequency at this point. Very, very dark and dreary though. It's not the kind of weather I was expecting. Like I say though, all clouds. Literally all just clouds on the map. Yeah, just one huge grey fog cloud, probably going to be like that for the remainder of the year, I think, in Vorkuta. I mean, look at that, I've never seen weather like this on the game, at least not so far. Really, really miserable looking clouds. I'm surprised we're not hit a thunderstorm or something. So send down to 3,000 feet. A lot of turbulence. If you are experiencing lag, there's a lot of turbulence in the aircraft. Externally, of course. I think the issue is the frame rate, or I've limited in the past to 60 and there's still been lag. Can't really win with the stream software for some reason. I did turn it down, so I'll turn it down again next stream and hopefully that'll eradicate the issue, but most likely it won't do. because it's a poor, it's an unstable network issue that's mostly happening. And then of course it keeps switching back to YouTube Health. It is excellent. Okay, I think that's the runway, or the airport just about. Yeah. Воркуta. Nice tune runway 8. It's the navigation one. So as you can see, it's a straight in arrival. Pretty much nearly there. It looks like we're going very, very slow, but trust me, you know, that's not going to take long to cover that ground. Experiencing severe turbulence at the moment. I think we've got to be super careful because we may experience engine failure, we may crash. Severe turbulence is that bad, it can actually crash planes. Yes, it can crash us indeed, and we're going to be so careful about it. It has done before, many times in Russia. The turbulence has crashed my plane. It caused the engines to fail multiple times, and of course the ice. We'll look for the weather, etc, etc. But it's looking pretty nice outside. Nice outside for the turbulence we have. Let's go ahead and set local pressure. See 1009. If I can do it. Pilot's jumping and shaking all over the place. There we go. 1009. So 5 degrees of flaps. bear with me. Just trying to figure out the radios a second. Okay, great. Воркуta traffic, Charlie 22 Foxtrot Tango is descending through a deep 1 Bravo arrival for runway 08. It's going to be a very, very tricky landing. Thank goodness for autopilot. Five to 9 local time, Vorkuta. So you see there, the FMC is telling us to go down to 2,190. So we do need to descend yet again to that altitude, 2,200. Under 9.5 programmed in. Let's program it in there as well. Okay, under 9.5 both sides. The slowest speed down to about 180. Okay, engine sync off. Fuel boost on. Ignition to continuous on both engines. Flaps already at 15 for some reason. Maybe I double clicked it by mistake. But that's fine though, 15 degrees of flaps. Should be intercepting the glide slope localizer any second. Very, very difficult to see, so let's get the landing lights on. Not that that's going to do much in this weather. This is category 3, probably. Well, we can't do a category 3 in the Citation 10. Let's just call it very, very difficult. So speed slowed down nicely. We may have missed the runway completely. I have no idea where it is. There's the green arrow, so we're not there just yet. I thought we would missed it. We may actually miss it. We're on the glide slope now. Very, very high up still. As soon as the green arrow moves, there it goes, just moving slightly towards the centre. Hopefully it'll lock on, because it's not really locking on at the moment. It may be that the weather's too bad and I don't want to do a go around in these conditions, to be fair. Okay, I think we're just about at final. Just about at final there. And there's the glide slope. So glide slope's locked on now. Landing speed 130, I believe it is. Right. Keep an eye on this map occasionally as well. Just make sure we're on the glide slope. So gear down. 4 flaps. You see we're absolutely all over the place. I kind of wish this did have an auto land function in it. We are struggling very, very badly to control the aircraft. The autopilot is anyway. Everybody just please remain calm. Let's get that thrust down a bit. I think it's the tailwind that's throwing us about. Yeah, we got 15 knots tailwind, that's quite strong.
500.
Should be able to see the runway. Hopefully, I mean, usually if you can't see the runway, it's a go around. We're almost at minimum height as well.
Lights 400.
Yeah. I can't see the runway at all. I can't see anything. There's literally nothing in front of me. Oh, hang on. I can see the lights. There we go.
Lights slow.
Let's try this.
300.
Well
Lights
too low.
slow.
Well too low.
200. Lights slow. 100. Lights slow. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Oh my god. That was one of the scariest landings. I couldn't see a thing. The storm weather's so bad. The runway's like a roller coaster. Like literally I could not see a thing on the runway. God knows what's going on with this. I mean, look at it. It's got bumps, it's got hills, it's got everything. The ILS broad is down. We've got broad down autopilot, but then when we got to the runway, it was way off. It was well too low. We should have had return turbine sync off. Turbine sync was off. What a frightening landing that was. So yeah, explain, you might want to sort Vorkuta out because the runway is completely messed up. We're gonna have to U-turn and we'll go back to the taxiway Alpha as well. Well, we made it down just about. Thank God it took control at the end there. We could see the runway. Otherwise it would have, you know, most likely crashed. Flaps are up, spoilers retracted, and slats are retracted as well. And the ice can come off. -6 in Vorkuta, freezing, absolutely freezing. Pitot heats can come off. We actually had the pitot heats on and it was still -6, so that shows you just how cold it is here. Amazing. And to be fair, we didn't turn the cockpit lights down for that landing, which is something I should have done, so my apologies. We've probably damaged landing gear. That was a hard landing, so we're going to need an inspection from the engineers when we get into the ramp. Ground check, a line check on the aircraft to make sure there's no damage, obvious damage at least. As you can see, we're going down a very steep hill. You would never find this on a real runway. Right, that is completely unacceptable from an airport design point of view. Absolutely unbelievable. It goes up and down again, and then up, then down. Insane. Can barely see as well, it's that dark. Like the fog and the weather is that bad, I literally can't see anything. This is Alpha, isn't it? Yeah, It's the taxiway Alpha. Got helipads, a few helipads there, and of course airliners. I don't know who would want to fly out of that airport. Insane. Should do cabin dump before we land really, but it depressurizes on its own, so we don't really need to worry about it. Do we need the APU on? No we don't, but we do need standby power. And emergency lights can come on as well. Ignition is off. Fuel boosts. Fuel pump, as you can see the control column naturally making its way back to the centre as we disengage the engines. Okay, anti-ice off, seatbelt signs off, nav lights can come off. Your damper can come off as well. FMC pretty much reset itself I think. We've landed now. Missed approach is in there in case. Literally we can't go back to flight plan because we've done it. So that's off, generators off, batteries off, emergency lights can stay on and standby power can come off. Let's hop out the plane and just check the damage on the aircraft. I don't think there's realistic damage, so you can't really see anything. It does look pretty fine actually, yeah, so what a good flight that was. Since it's been a long flight, I'm going to do the replay if possibly. This may work, may not. Can't go on vaccine when you're on replay mode. Okay, been getting warnings again that the stream logged out not long ago. Or maybe the landing, hopefully not. Okay, just give me a sec. So we want to watch the landing. Here we go. Trying to zoom out a bit. Right, look at these conditions. I mean, it's saying 130 frames. That's not accurate. Look at that. I've never flown in such awful conditions. Let's try and speed it up a bit and put it to the final. And you'll just see what I mean by the visibility in the runway, the actual shape. Up and down it was at the beginning. And look at that, the plane is sinking. It's literally sinking, it's got so much downdraft. Okay, gear down. As you can see, it's gone, like, it does get clear, but then it goes blurry. Here we go. Not bad, not bad. Okay, it was on the centre line, and then it got blow roll over the place. Again, a situation like that, you might want to go around, but we had no choice but to land. I think that was pretty good actually. It was close to the set. It was pretty much on the centre line, other than the nose touchdown. And then there's that ramp for some reason in the middle of the runway. Yeah.